Hey everyone, Mortgage Nerd here. Demographics is destiny. What do I mean by that? Anything regarding our demographics, especially generational demographics, drives an economy, stalls an economy. We're seeing it right now, the impact millennials are having on our economy versus other countries like in Europe and Japan, where their millennial population is not large like ours, and their economies are seeing differences that our economy is not seeing. What we're talking about today is our economy here in the United States. After World War II, we saw a huge boom in population into the 50s. Those are the baby boomers. As that happened and more people came back to work, the economy roared. Then the birth rates began to drop. Let's look at the chart. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we see right here, World War II ends, the baby boom happens. A little bit of a lull, keeps going. But then towards the end of the 60s, FDA approves the use of birth control pill. So we start to see the population drop. Then it starts coming back up again. But when Roe versus Wade was legalized, that's when the birth rates really took a turn. They stayed low for a while. Now we see millennials being born and having a peak in our population. Gen Z might be a larger portion of our population as they get older, but as of right now, millennials are the largest portion of our population. I have other charts that show that as well. Now, when it comes to mortgages and real estate, I've been saying for a while, for a few years now in several videos, that Roe versus Wade and contraception had an impact on the housing crash of 2008. Remember, it had an impact. It was a factor. It was not the factor. Doesn't matter what happened with those birth rates. If we didn't have the massive fraud and loose guidelines that we had, there would not have been a crash. But when you happen to add to it some of the lowest demand for first-time home buyers that we've seen since World War II era, and we had an oversupply, we had way too many builders building homes, it was a perfect storm. Now we're in the opposite. We have way too much demand, first-time home buyers, and not enough supply because for over a decade, builders were not building. I made entire videos on this. The demographics become our destiny. If first-time home buyers are 33, 34 years old, let's look at the chart. And here the peak of millennials was 1990. That means that coming up, we're not even at the peak of the millennials as first-time home buyers. That should be coming in 2023 and 2024. So here's probably 1997, add 33 years, we're at 2030. I said that in many videos. I said maybe if we have the right storm, then we might see a correction or a crash in the real estate values at that time. Maybe there's an oversupply by the time we get there of homes because they're trying to build to meet the millennial supply. It's not going to be as bad as the 2008 crash because everything I said, fraud and all these other issues happen. Demographics is destiny. Remember that. So for everyone saying this market's going to crash, blah, 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 there's too much demand. The demographics are driving that demand. And the builders not building, watch my last video, Forbes saying housing starts are in a free fall, plummeting, blah, blah, blah. Demographics are driving all of this. Demographics is destiny. Mortgage Nerd out.